Okay, notes 4-2 slope. So the slope M of a line passing through points x1, y1, and x2, y2 is a ratio of the difference in the y coordinates to the corresponding difference in the x coordinates as an equation. So remember, we did this. This is our little equation. This is the important part that we need right there. So remember, we said y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 was slope. Okay, so determine the slope of the line that passes through these lines. So they gave us two coordinates, okay? Coordinates are an x, y coordinate, right? So remember on a graph, when we graph things, we go the x coordinate first, and then we go up or down. So we go left or right, and then up or down when we're graphing a point, okay? So look, I'm going to label these points. I'm going to say this is x1, okay, and this is y1, this is x2, and y2. Okay, so we have our points. So we're going to plug it in this formula. So we're going to say y2, which is 3, minus y1, which is -1. We go ahead and put -1 there. 3 minus a -1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so technically when we did this before, really this is the change in y over the change in x. That's how we're getting our points. This is the change in y, the y is subtracting over the change in x. So 3 minus a -1 is 4, because we leave change change. Leave change change here. 2 plus 1 is 3. So our slope is 4 over 3. Right now, I want to leave it in this form, okay? Because I want to leave it in a rise over a run form. If I wanted to divide it later, I could, and I could get 1.3. But right now, I want to leave it in that form because I want it to be able to find the slope. Okay? Yeah. So technically, what we've just found is these points right here. We found this was this point right here. Okay? And then this point was right here. So let's look at the rise over the run there. Okay? So we would rise 1, 2, 3, 4 and run 1, 2, 3. Isn't that what we just did? And that was what we got. So that is our slope. Yeah, we could do the rise over the run here. But on one of the sheets, it gives you straight points. And the 8th grade TEK is to find it from points. Does that make sense? They don't give you this picture. They would just give you the 2 points.
So sometimes they'll give you a picture.
Yeah, so if you have the picture, I would find it rise over run. I would do rise over run, and I would find it. But a lot of time on the 8th grade TEK, they're going to give you the points like this right here. Yeah, you're gonna have to know it. You're gonna have to know how to do it from all the ways.
How did it tell you where to start?
Okay, well that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show you. We're gonna look at this again. So we're gonna say x1, y1, x2, y2, and I literally write that on top of the points just to make it easier and clear. So when I go y2, -2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, then I can just put my things in my spot from where I labeled it. Okay, so -2 minus 4 is -6. 3 minus 1 is 2. -6 divided by 2 is going to be -3. Okay. Okay, hold on. So let's go through this again. Remember, this is our y2 minus our y1, x2 minus x1, and equals -3. Okay. Okay, so look at, if you look over here at this one, it is the same. The rise would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and run 1, 2. But it's going up 6 and -2, so that would still give you that -3. The rise over the run. Remember, we're looking rise over run. Okay, so now we have all these points right here. So I'm going to label x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to say my first point is y2, which is 4 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 minus 0 is?
Oh, wait, wrong way.
Oh, she had a good question. She said, is 3, 3, or 1? I would use 1 because it's going to go through, that means it's going through every box like that. Does that make sense? So whether you count it 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, but it's still going through all of these points. Okay? It's still connecting at all of those crosshairs.
Wait,
Okay? What? Okay. So, yes, you will. Okay, yes. Number 2. We got, yes. Okay, so look at this next point. We're going to say x1, y1, x2, y2. So 2 minus negative 2 over 3 minus 1. So 2 minus negative 2 is 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. I would simplify this to 2 because you can put it over 1. Does that make sense? Yeah. So a whole number can go over 1 anytime we want to do that. So I want you to try number 3 on your own. So what we're going to do, we're going to label it x1, y1, x2, y2. So 2 minus a negative 4 over 2 minus 4. So this is leave change, which would be 6 over negative 2, which should be negative 3. 4. Okay, so label it x1, y1, x2, y2, and go ahead and fill it in real quick. Okay, let's look at it real quick. You should have 3 minus 1 over 6 minus 3. It's 2 over 3, and that's simplified as good as it's going to go. Okay, so let's do it right here. Label your points. x1, y1, x2, y2. And do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 4 minus 3 is 1. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. It's negative 1/2. And that's simplified. I have several of you getting negative 1/2 and you're getting it this way. That's okay. Negative 1/2 this way. That means you did your points differently. That's okay because negative 1/2 that way and negative 1, these are both equal. They're the same thing. As long as one of them is negative and one's positive. Okay, let's look at the last one real quick. x1, y1, x2, y2. If you will label it and follow the formula though, it should come out. So 4 minus 4 over 5 minus negative 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Leave change. That's 9. So it should be 0 over 9. Okay, yes. Okay, moving on. We got to get through these last two. Number 7. Determine the slope of the given picture. Okay. So how do you do that? What are you thinking?
Oh, it doesn't show 18 on it.
Oh, it doesn't show 18 on y'all's? Okay. Well, there's 18. So this is a right triangle, and we talked about this a little. We said, I can determine the length of the side. Let me think. Okay. So really, technically, what are we doing? What are we rising here? 12, and we ran 4. So technically, we would rise 12 and run 18. So your rise would be 12, your run would be 18. If I reduce that, it would be 2/3. So that would be my slope there. Okay? Okay, next time right here, determine the slope of the given triangle. Okay, so we're going to do rise over run. We can do it where it crosses the crosshairs, or we can come through, and I'm going to say just go from point to point. So we're going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we did our points, we could say x1, y1, x2, y2. We could say negative 2 minus 4 over negative 3 minus 2. So you would get negative 6 over negative 5, which would be 6 over 5 because negative and a negative makes it a positive. Okay, so we get the same thing doing the rise over the run. So if you have a picture, just count the boxes. Okay, if you don't have a picture, do the points, okay?